Welcome to the video. This is your host, Grits and Gravy. In this beat making video, I'm actually going to do a walkthrough, making the beat from scratch all the way to the arrangement and go in depth. So let's get straight into it. Okay, so usually when I'm making a beat, I'm starting from scratch and I really don't have an idea. So in these situations, what I'll do is I'll just open my template, and what you see right here, this is my Maschine template, but I just renamed it. So I haven't done anything yet. So in my template, I have a instance of Outputs Arcade. And usually I'll use this just as like a jumping off point to kind of get ideas going. So let's do that. Let's see what we can find and we'll just build from there. So one of my favorite lines inside of Arcade is raw takes. So let's go through raw takes and see what's in here. So I could either start with like a perk or something, or I could go the route of using like an instrument or like a instrument that's looped. So right now I'm just searching for something that I can kind of hear myself building on top of. Okay, I kind of like this piano. What I'm thinking is maybe change the key. I can record it and chop it up and maybe kind of rearrange the loop. So let's try and work with this. I switched it to G major. Now I'm just gonna record it and we'll go from there. So already I'm thinking like a bouncy type beat, almost like Going Bad, like the Meek Mill Drake track, so something like that. So I'm probably gonna speed it up. So let's do, I'm gonna change my tempo now. Change my tempo to 162. Okay, so I like that piano. So I'm gonna convert it from Arcade from the MIDI, and I'm actually gonna sample it in so I can chop it up because I like the pattern, but I probably want some variations. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna come to an empty pad and I'm just gonna load up the sampler. And so now go into the sample screen and make sure, so we're working with an 8-bar loop, so that's right here, so that's set. Okay, so I was waiting for the input, so we just started up. All right, gravy. All right, so now we got that in there. So now what I'm going to do is I only want one instance of Arcade running. So I'm going to copy this to an empty group. So I'm going to hit duplicate, hit my pad. I already have a blank group set up for this. And now I'm just going to erase the original MIDI. Usually I'll kind of like pay attention to what I'm doing. So like I might label this sound before I erase it because I won't know where I got it from. Okay, so this is from Raw Takes, Lift Your Spirits, and we're in G major. So I'm actually going to label this sound. I would recommend you doing this if you're going to like convert it to audio or take it out of that instance of arcade, because then you won't know where you got it from. I've done that several times and then I had no idea where I got it from. So I'm going to set this polyphony to 1. I could do ADSR. Matter of fact, first let's edit it and normalize it. But when I do that, I want to go on my mixer and kind of turn it down. Yeah, so we'll be able to get some real nice chops out of this. All right, let's zoom in. Chop game rusty, but we're gonna get it done though. Okay, we're getting something going, so. Okay. And I'm not doing really intricate chops or anything like that. Next thing I would probably do is just get a clap in there. I'm gonna just go with a clap and I might swap it out, but here we go. I like that, so I'm going to record that in, so get these hi-hats in there. I don't know why I didn't catch that one. Now at this point, I'm going to turn the metronome off, and now I'm going to start thinking elements to counteract the piano. So something that's not going to clash with it. I'm probably going to add at least one more good instrument to complement this piano. So let's try and find something. Another, I guess, tip if you're using arcade is what I would try to do is stay in the same line. So where we're using raw takes, you could switch kits, but I would try to stay within that kind of theme. So the theme being raw takes. So let's go to another kit and see what we can find. Oh my. Yes. Okay, so let's do this. Okay, so with this sound, I'm not going to chop anything up. I'm just going to convert it to audio. So put the audio module in there. Now I'm going to drag and drop. Drag and drop this bad boy. Okay. Let's do one more sound and then I'm gonna call it quits on the sounds. So, because then I can just focus on drums. I have two sounds already. One of them is kind of in the middle of the frequency spectrum, like the piano's kind of mid-rangey. Then I have something low, so I need something high. It doesn't have to be high, like high pitch, but I think that would kind of make the most sense. Okay, so now that we got all those elements in place, I want to focus on the 808. So these are already in the template, and I'm just going to pick one out so I can kind of audition them and see which one will fit best. So I'm gonna go with this low boomy sounding 808, and we're gonna add, of course, like some distortion and stuff to it to make it cut through. But I want that bottom end to kind of drive the track, so we're gonna use this one. So I'm gonna record that in this higher octave just so I can hear it better, make sure that it's in tune, and then we'll drop the octave and we'll see what we got. Recorded it in, and now I hit events. At the top I can hit select all, make sure all my notes light up, and then I can click keyboard while my notes are still selected, hit or hold shift, and then on the pads I can octave down with pad number 15. that's what I was going for, like the real low sounding 808. And so now I can add like distortion to it. That's usually what I do. I'll add. So now I think I'm going to add this snare on top of this clap. Some note repeat at the end. So I found another sound that I want to add in. I'm pretty sure you've heard this vocal chop before. So I'm going to take this and I want to play 2 different notes with it in the pattern. So it's going to be like, and it's just going to ride throughout the beat just to kind of fill it out some more. So let's record this. Okay, so now we're going to arrange this beat. I've done a full tutorial on arrangement and I'll link that up here in the corner. A lot of people have said that it's very helpful, so it goes more in depth. Let's get this started. So first I'm going to hold shift, press arrange to get into the ideas view. So this right here, of course, is the loop that we just created. It has all the sounds in it. So obviously we want the beat to, you know, switch up and have variations and whatnot. So right off top, this first scene is going to be the intro. Okay, so we're going to press scene and we're just going to duplicate. I'm going to make 12 scenes, but I might not use all of them, but that's a pretty good number to start with. Now, a lot of times I will go through here and actually just start naming these before I even arrange. And I actually think I'm going to do that just so that for the sake of this video, by looking at it, I know what instruments I want to play during that particular scene. So I'm probably going to fast forward through this, but basically I'm just going to, you know, label it verse 1, hook, verse 2, so on and so forth. So I'm going to do that real quick. Also keep in mind that this is like double time. So this is going to be, since our tempo is 162, this is going to be the equivalent of 12 bars like in a song. Okay, so this will be 4/8 for the hook, and then 4/8 12 for a verse. So then we're gonna have a breakdown, and then like drums only. So I'm gonna drop all the instruments out, and then an outro. So now when I'm arranging, let's say for example the intro starts, I don't want my kick. So now what we do is you select your group, and then you click pattern, press remove, go on to the next one. So now you can make decisions quickly and decide what you want to play where, because we already named it, so we know what we're working on. And now we just have to decide, okay, are drums playing during this time or not? Okay, is the hi-hat playing, so on and so forth. And so that's what I'm gonna do. I can either do it listening to it, or I can do it without listening to it. So let's just kind of play it and see how fast I can go through this and just make decisions. So that's my intro. So like on this last hook pattern, I want everything playing, but I want to drop like the hi-hats out probably, and maybe something else. So what I can do, let's see if I can do this on the fly. So I'm gonna hold erase and then press the pad. Okay, so just that quick, I got my hook going. We go to the verse. Usually when I start my verse, I just drop like all of the percussion out, but I might keep the drums in. So let's see how I want to do this. So that's my intro to the verse, and I actually don't want that playing at all at the beginning, so I'll just remove it. so now this is like a hook. I'm going to get rid of the 808. And I'm also thinking get rid of my snare. So let's see what this sounds like. So the outro is probably just gonna be instruments. So right off the top of my head, remove the 808. I'll keep the clap in there for now. Get rid of the snare, get rid of the hi-hats, get rid of the open hat. Keep these and then get rid of the FX sound. All right, so that's pretty much it. So now what I'll do is actually append them to the timeline. So if you switch back, all that's there is that first scene that we edited and we made it into an intro. When we're in ideas view, click on scene. This third button is append, and now we just add our scenes to the timeline. So we already have the intro. So now how do we want the beat to progress? So we got intro, hook, verse, and then we're going to the hook breakdown, and then we're going to go back into the verse. So we're going to use this drums only pattern as like the first part of the second verse. We're going to use that one, but then we're going to go back to the fifth pattern, which is the second part of a verse. So then second part, third part, and then we're going to have like another hook breakdown, and then we'll just go to the end. So then we'll go outro. Okay, so now when we flip back, we should have the whole beat laid out. So that's pretty much gonna do it. And now I'm just gonna play the beat. Once again, go watch my other tutorial on arrangement, and it'll explain everything in depth. If you like these type of videos where I actually break down the thought process of actually making a beat, let me know in the comments, and I can definitely do more of these type of videos. And make sure to like, subscribe, and comment below. So now I'm going to play the full beat.